the school of friendship. First day of class, will we fail or... Mike, I was just about to check on you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better and ready to go for the next review. That rest sure did me good. Thanks, Rach.
Glad to hear, Mike. Come on, I think this will be the big world, big adventure.
You've jinxed it real good, Zack.
I really hate you sometimes.
Something tells me school Raze is next on the agenda, Mike.
Ow! You son of a bitch!
Uh-oh. That should patch things up, Matt.
Thanks, Rachel.
Why'd you throw that flower pot at Matt, Zack?
Because he was being annoying.
If that's how you're gonna go about it, you're not gonna be in the same episode together.
What?
Do you understand how hard Rachel and I worked to keep peace between you guys? We need a break. Rachel, let's take this one with Zack.
Actually, I kinda already reviewed it.
Oh no. I don't want to have to keep breaking up these two the entire review.
You won't have to. I've got in touch with someone recently who wants to give us a shot.
Who would that be?
Glad you asked, because he's someone who's been sort of new to the whole voice acting thing compared to the rest of us, but he's been doing a good job. This is Guardian Soul, MLP, or we know him as Cameron.
Hey guys, I am so glad to be here today. Though, are you sure I'm ready?
You'll be alright. This'll be fun.
Then it's all settled. Mike, you keep an eye on Zack this review. Zack, behave yourself. Cameron, do your best. Matt, you're with me.
Oh, come on.
We can watch School Raze while these three are reviewing it. Besides, I've got snacks.
Race you back.
Hey, you shouldn't be racing with the injury. Matt, wait up.
People have been saying that Season 4 was the last genuinely good season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic until Season 7 at the latest, if even that. And while I'll admit that Season 7 is the best season of the show post Twilight's Kingdom, I think the horrific quality after Season 4 is a little bit exaggerated. Okay, to be fair, between Seasons 5 and 6, there is a slight dip in quality, especially in Season 6, but still.
We still stand by our belief that Season 7 is a genuinely good season, but some people won't hear of it. That's all well and good, but you need to think about kids. Mainly, those who have no access to the internet and have no real concept of something they like potentially being bad. If it's related to something they like, chances are they'll like whatever's being presented to them.
While I don't think the show will ever beat the heights of Season 1 or 2 personally, do I think the show has gone downhill since then? Not really. There are plenty of good episodes after Season 2.
Now, when it comes to Season 8, was it as great as Season 7? No, but it's still a pretty good season, even if it was a bit hit and miss at times. Obviously, it won't beat Seasons 4 or 7, but overall, I'd say it was better than Seasons 5 and 6. As for the first three, I'd rank it as being better when it comes to animation, but worse in terms of plot. No, I don't mean that kind of...
Tamlin, you bloody dumbass! Do you even try to get us to hate you?
What are you talking about, Zack?
It's a long story. I swear that if he messes up again, he won't be seeing another Hanukkah.
I didn't know Mr. Tamlin was Jewish. But anyway, as I was saying, Season 8 was a hit and miss season overall, but the good episodes were really good and the animation was fantastic. Maybe not 2017 movie level fantastic, but still.
Mike, Matt, and I reviewed the Season 8 premiere School Days back in May, and Mike and I both gave our thoughts on the 22 episodes that followed. Our respective thoughts on the season are in the description below.
And now we've come to the finale of Season 8, School Days!
Wait a minute, I thought we already discussed School Days.
Whoops, sorry, I read that wrong. I meant School Raze!
Oh, that makes much more sense.
Yep. Now, what is School Raze about? During a school field trip, Starlight Glimmer finds her magic failing, and the other unicorns across Equestria suffer from the same problem. With the fear that their magic will vanish within 3 days, the main six and Spike head off to Tartarus to see if Lord Tyrek had anything to do with this.
While Twilight and the others are away, she leaves Cozy Glow in charge of things at the School of Friendship. Every creature is pleased, but the young six are suspicious, and one night they discover the pink blue-haired alpha bitch is in cahoots with Chancellor Naysay, the antagonist in the premiere. Naysay, fed up with the way Twilight was running things against the EEA standards, threatens to take over the school and run things to their requirements.
When the main six and Spike turned up at Tartarus, it turns out that it's not Tyrek who's stealing their magic. No! Instead, it's Cozy Glow.
What a twist!
Back at the School of Friendship, Sandbar sides with Naysay just so he could get his friends free, and he and Applebloom discover that Cozy Glow is stealing magic because she thinks friendship gives her power, wanting to rule as Empress of Friendship. Well, Mike, if you didn't like her before, you'll likely want to rip her still beating heart out of her chest and hold it in front of her face so she can see how black it is before she dies, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. It's no secret that I absolutely hate Cozy Glow with every fiber of my being. I didn't like her in Marks for Effort, an episode I hate. I didn't even like her in What Lies Beneath, an episode I actually liked. So it should come as a surprise to no one that I didn't like her here either. She's basically the poor man's Diamond Tiara, except with no silver spoon or supposed lackey to kiss up to her flank. But back to the plot. Twilight, the Alicorn Princess and friends decide to harness the magic of the creatures trapped in Tartarus in order to escape. Meanwhile, Naysay takes over as head stallion, much to Darla Dimple's indignation. But she gets her own back by starting an uprising against him. Meanwhile, again, Sandbar and the Crusaders rescue the rest of the young six and find Naysay tied up in chains and help him free.
I was completely blown away by the fact that Cozy Glow was actually the main villain of that whole plot. I mean, I was like, what the flippin' heck? Sorry about that. Anyway, but yes, that scene of where the actual villain being exposed is truly one of the mind-blowing scenes that whole episode has displayed. Just when things couldn't get any worse, that's what I'd say.
The young six then head to the catacombs under the school where Cozy Glow tries to pin the blame on them for potentially destroying the school, much less Equestria. But because of their friendship, the young six are able to free Starlight from being trapped with the collected magic by taking hold of the artifacts, which stops the magic draining spell. And Cozy Glow then gets her evil little butt handed to her and sent off to Tartarus for treason. Totally a good idea to lock her up in the same place as Tyrek, right? That won't cause any problems for season 9.
Well, I can safely say that it is truly one of the best two-parters to conclude the season from my point of view. The one scene I find a little sad, in my opinion, is the way Rainbow Dash bumped herself against the huge doors when she tried to escape. I do wish I could give her a hug and a pat on the head.
Hey, I know how you feel, man.
You do?
Of course. I'm sure you're aware of my fan crush on Rarity.
Oh yeah, almost forgot about that for a moment.
Oh great, stuck with a pair of pony-crushing fanboys. Gee, thanks for leaving me with these jokers.
Hey, lighten up, Zack. You have your sights on Sunset Shimmer. Do you not think we're all even on this? You have your crush, Mike has his crush, and I have mine.
Alright, I get the point. Mike, your thoughts on the episode?
I wasn't the biggest fan of the two-parter myself, but I thought it was okay. If there was one thing that I could say that surprised me, it was... well, we'll save that for later in the video.
I'm gonna say it. I don't like School Raze. Perhaps the biggest problem with the episode is that it relies on overused tropes and cliches as a crutch. Prime example, Cozy Glow being revealed as the big, or in her case, little, bad. Yep, the twist villain. Here's 2 problems I have with this. Number 1, we already know Cozy Glow was going to be the villain of the piece. Hell, even if you watched Marks for Effort, you could already tell she was up to no good, so any tension leading up to that point was pretty much non-existent. And number 2, as I said, it's been overdone since 1999 with Toy Story 2. And before anybody says, how dare he bash that movie? Let's keep in mind this was long before this trope became overused, and I still consider it an amazing film. But following its usage with King Candy / Turbo and Wreck-It Ralph, Disney, for whatever reason, decided to milk this trope cow, one of the biggest offenders being Frozen. Hell, as much as Coco and Incredibles 2 are great movies, even they suffer from having a twist villain. It's one of the most overused, most annoying cliches you could possibly think of. It's like the forced, edgy adult humor in The Cat in the Hat, the bestiality in Sonic 06, the character aggression in Free C. Menton's Gruff, the suicide jokes in One Course Meal, everything in Ledge. Moving on.
Now let's talk about the main six's side of the story. When the main 6.5 learned that Equestria is losing magic, they talked to Celestia and Luna about it. Celestia believes that Tirek may have had something to do with this, except he didn't. Okay, saying that he didn't is a bit untrue. It was revealed that he was pen pals with Cozy Cramp, and through him was she able to trap Starlight in the magic confinement.
This is an interesting bit. Fans have been moaning about Starlight hogging the spotlight and the writers making everyone else look weak, as if Starlight was the big hero of the story. That may be true with mirror magic, but not so with shadow play. As for to wearing back again, that's debatable. And to be honest, I felt more worried for Starlight than I was the main 6 and Spike, because I've watched the show long enough to realize that they've been around since day one and will always turn out fine in the end. But Starlight being trapped, I actually cared for her there since she's improved a lot since season 6. Are we expected to believe the main 6 and Spike won't be okay? Sure, there's comedy, but tension, dead. In fact, there's barely tension throughout the episode. It's fizzled out before it's even rose.
We've already talked about this flawed theory about Starlight in our character analysis review on her. You can go check that out if you'd like. So we'll just stick a pin in that and move on.
I would seem to think that School Raze is good in my opinion, but I do see the points that both Zack and Mike had made. Like, I'm not saying this episode is bad, it's still a good way to end a season from my point of view, but I just want to talk about some rights and wrongs in that episode. Now, I know I already mentioned Cozy Glow being the main villain and Dashi bumping into the door, but I'm going to start with the positive sides of the episode. I did find that one scene with Pinky tormenting Tyrek into helping the girls escape. It was funny with the way she kept on trying until he finally cracked up and agreed to help them. I also think it was sweet with the way Fluttershy promised to help those poor creatures if she ever saw them again. Now for the young 6, I do admire their courage and spirit and everything they'd go through to save Starlight's Glimmer and restore all the magic in Equestria. It just goes to show that the main 6 have passed their torch of friendship onto them, and I am quite looking forward to see what they could do for season 9, and the ending of them practicing graduation is what makes the ending feel so great for me. With them now understanding friendship, they're gonna go far. Now, talking about the bad sides of this episode, the one thing that sort of made me a little bit mad was that one scene where the Cutie Mark Crusaders tried to trick Cozy Glow, whilst the young 6 attempted to free Chancellor Naysay and free Starlight Glimmer. Now, as they were walking down the hall, Cozy Glow had showed them the janitor's closet, or was it the cleaning room? Anyway, that's beside the point. The fact is, she found out that she was being tricked and she shoved them inside and locked them in. Now, the reason why I have a problem with that was because they have wasted a good scene where the Cutie Mark Crusaders tried to do something useful. And where in the absolute hell were they when everyone all arrived and surrounded Cozy Glow? Were they still locked up in the janitor's closet? I mean, come on guys, you're gonna do better than that!
Speaking of the little pink blue hair devil, now let's talk about the finale's most significant players, beginning with the villain of the piece. I could rip her a new one, but I think the only way to do her justice is to hand the gauntlet over to Mike.
As I mentioned early in the video, Cozy Glow is my most hated character in the entire show, even more so than Svengalp. Why is that? Well, let's start with Marks for Effort, an episode that has the most mixed reception among us of any episode to date. Now, why do I hate this episode so much? Well, there's 3 reasons. 1, it's a torture porn on the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and the most painful CMC-related episode since Ponyville Confidential. Like the aforementioned Season 2 episode, it had the main 6, barring Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie, treating them badly for no reason. But at least in Ponyville Confidential, there was a reason for why they were being shunned, so the anger was justified there. What was their excuse here? 2. Like No Second Prances, it completely derailed Twilight's character. The CMCs were trying to help Cozy Glow become a better friend by getting her into their school, and what did the supposed Princess of Friendship do? Not only did she ban the Crusaders from her school, but she also forbade them from communicating with any of the attendants there. You heard that correctly. This was coming from the supposed Princess of Friendship, the character who, at one point, was my favorite character of the main 6, until season 5 when a certain white unicorn took that spot. The pony who harnessed the magic of friendship, and she banned her friends from the school of friendship? Twilight Sparkle, you're better than this! And to have episodes like this derail your character really hurts as someone who once upon a time considered you one of my favorite characters. Well, deep down I still consider you one of my favorite characters, but regardless. And the third reason I hate this episode is because of Cozy Glow herself. She's a despicable, manipulative brat who makes Veruca Salt look like Lisa Simpson by comparison. In this episode, she tried to befriend the Crusaders, and when they helped her with her friendship test, she failed her test, on purpose, mind you, in a ploy to get Twilight to believe that the Crusaders were bad at friendship. While yes, she did own up to Starlight near the end, what she did was downright despicable, and it showed that this filly was up to no good. Like I've mentioned before, Cozy Glow is the poor man's diamond tiara, due to both of them being pink fillies who have been deceitful toward the CMCs, just in different ways. As for her portrayal in School Race, it was revealed through Tirek that he was willing to work with Cozy in an attempt to drain Equestria from its magic and trap the main 6.5 inside Tartarus. Thankfully, the young 6 were able to use the magic of the Tree of Harmony to grab the artifacts and shut off the magic draining spell and restore magic for Equestria once again. What's even better is that the little pink blue-haired brat was sent to Tartarus, and hopefully it will stay that way. Cozy Glow. Everyone at Hasbro who bankrolled her, the culture that enabled her, and will excuse her actions, and if you're going to defend her in any way, with all due respect, you too!
Excuse me, Mike. Rachel and I both happen to like Cozy Glow, you know. If you have a problem with people who do like her, then you can take those harsh words of yours and shove them up your...
Matt, you finish that sentence and I'll turn off School Race and put on Ponyville Confidential instead!
Ah! No! Anything but that!
That's better! Just be glad it's not Fame and Misfortune, I suggested.
What did you say?
Oops. Never mind.
Well, that was unexpected, but wasn't that a little over the line?
Perhaps it was, yeah. Sorry about that, folks. In all seriousness, if you like Cozy Glow, good for you. I'm not gonna change your mind on anything. But as of this review, I'm never gonna give Flash Sentry crap again. Still not keen on Twice Sentry, though.
Does that mean...
Don't even think about it.
Okay.
Moving on to the other antagonist, Chancellor Naysay. And honestly, I have a feeling you're not gonna like the outcome of him towards the end of the episode, Zach.
Let me guess. He got redeemed by the end. Son of a bitch.
World War III! World War III! Hide to kids! Hide to wives!
Calm down, Cam. That alarm wasn't for World War III.
Wait, it wasn't?
Nope. It means that Zach is going to go on one of his infamous Railfan Brony rants. Excuse me a minute, folks. I'll be back with help from a friend. In the meantime, fire away, Zach.
As if the usage of the twist villain trope wasn't tedious enough, they had to use that god-awful villain redemption trope in the same episode. 2 overused tropes in a single episode. What the actual f***? Were they trying to come up with the most cliche finale they could think of? And yes, I get that Naysay had been stabbed in the back by Cozy Glow, but that doesn't mean I hate this trope any less. And saying that he'd had a bad experience with non-ponies? I don't even know what to say to that. I don't believe this redemption for a minute there. What's next? Cozy Glow and Tirek escape together, team up with Chrysalis and the resurrected Sombra, but get talked down to and learn to accept friendship? That would be a horrible way to end this series. I don't even know what to say. I'm out of words.
Oh, where's Michael and Rachel when you need them?
Okay, you guys, I'm back. And I brought Rachel with me.
Well, this is odd. Matt and I were just in the middle of the episode. Now, Mike, you said you needed help with something?
Yeah, Zach just gave one of his infamous Railfan Brony rants on Chancellor Naysay's redemption, and I was wondering if you'd help me with defending that.
Okay. I'll try my best. I was pleasantly surprised by Naysay's reformation. Unlike other reformations like in Equestria Girls, Naysay's one felt more subtle. He had Equestria's best intentions at heart, and I can understand where his dislike for the non-pony species came from. Griffins weren't exactly the friendliest creatures around, unless we're talking about Gavi. Heck, even Gilder and Gallus weren't exactly friendly to begin with. The Acts are very proud of their heritage, and some like Rutherford are extremely difficult to get along with. The dragons, with the exceptions of Amber, Spike, and eventually Smolder, aren't the friendliest either, and some even wanted to conquer Ponyville like Garble. The changelings invaded Ponyville, Canterlot, and the Crystal Empire at least once, and didn't have a favourable reputation. Thorax even points this out in School Days that not everyone trusts them. As for the hippogriffs and sea ponies, it's possible Naysayer heard something along the lines of Novo letting Twilight and Co drown when she took away their sea pony forms in the movie without hearing the full story of what happened. And let's not forget, the first time Naysayer saw the Young Six, they caused some havoc which unintentionally wrecked part of the school. That is not a good first impression, and that can last for a while. But when they rescued him here, he got to see the good in them and finally understand that friendship was for every creature, if given the proper chance. So, Mike, anything else you wish to add?
No, you pretty much did the work for me there. Thanks again, Rach.
No problem, Mike. Now, I'll need to head back and finish up School Race with Matt.
Have fun! And be careful you don't get burnt around him.
Well, I do get that you guys don't like villain redemption, but to be fair, I sort of feel the same way too. I mean, in the first film of Equestria Girls, Sunset Shimmer had redeemed herself, and that kind of thing was fine for me, but that's hardly the point. Let's go back to the roots of the problem. It was quite noble of him to go through such great lengths to use whatever magic he had got left to go to Princess Celestia and Princess Luna for help, despite how they got no magic as well, until they managed to take their magic back after it was spread over Equestria. I already mentioned the part where Cozy Glow was surrounded by everyone before she could make her escape, and I was quite satisfied to see Naysay to even try and stop her as well. But I kind of felt like that locking her up with Tyrex seems like a bad idea. I mean, do I even need to go on about what they might plan in Season 9? Anybody? No? Okay, whatever.
Now let's move on to some of the supporting characters in the episode, such as the Young Six and the Cutie Mark Crusaders.
Noteworthy mention goes to Sandbar. In order to escape and alert someone about Cozy Glow and Naysay, he pretends to betray his friends just so he can rescue them afterwards.
But Sandbar wasn't really betraying his friends. Actually, he summoned the help of the Cutie Mark Crusaders so they could help the others foil Cozy's scheme and free Starlight.
That's not praiseworthy, then I don't know what is.
If I could mention just one thing about Sandbar, he sort of reminds me of my original character Guardian Soul, but that's hardly the point. The point is, I'm starting to think that Sandbar is the kind of character that I'm starting to take an immediate liking to.
Not just cause he's voiced by the same guy who does Flash Sentry, right?
Well, I guess not. There is more to him than just the voice, his personality, and his overall character design, but I'm pretty sure I could put a bit more words for the rest of the Young Six, the ones that he went to for help in freeing Starlight's Glimmer.
Now, Zach and I have already talked about why we think Sandbar is Vincent Tong's best character to date during our School Days review. Once again, feel free to watch that episode if you're interested.
So what characters shall we talk about next, Zach?
Why don't we talk about Smolder?
Absolutely. Now who could forget the orange dragon named Smolder, huh? One of the next members of the Young Six who also helped Sandbar save Starlight's Glimmer and shutting down Cozy Glow's plans. I felt like that she was decent enough. Kinda reminds me of my waifu Rainbow Dash, except that she's not blue and she's not a Pegasus. Why can't I ever stop talking about Rainbow Dash?
Hey, it's okay, Cam. I know how you feel. If there's one member of the Young Six who has had a lot of character development throughout the season, it would have to be Smolder. Starting in School Days, she was brought into the School of Friendship by Princess Ember to represent the dragons. At first, she only got on with Gallus the Griffin due to them being similar, personality-wise, but near the end of the premiere, she starts to warm up to the other members of the Young Six. In both Moltdown and Father Knows Beast, she acts as a big sister figure towards Spike, which makes sense considering, they're dragons. And in What Lies Beneath, she confronts her fear of admitting that she likes cute things like tea parties and whatnot. All in all, I don't think any member of the Young Six has had more development as well as more starring roles than Smolder. Sure, Yona had a rock hoof and a hard place, Sandbar had this episode, and aside from the premiere, all of them had the Hearthstone Club, What Lies Beneath, and a few others this season. And sure, Silverstream is my favorite of the Young Six, but none of them have had the character development that Smolder had.
Then there's Yona, and have I mentioned how much I like her? Every episode she's in, she puts a smile on my face. Rock hoof in a hard place, non-compete clause. Yeah, the latter was a terrible episode, but her being aquaphobic is pretty relatable. Heck, when Yona started plummeting toward the ground due to Star's magic failing, I was practically thinking, no and felt relief that she was safe. That was probably one of the few moments in the episode that genuinely felt tense. And come on, if you didn't love her reaction to Sandbar coming back to freedom, you have no soul.
If I could just say something about Gallus, the Blue Griffin, I just wanted to say that I really love his character design because the blue feathers on him was really striking. I know this isn't much, but the character design is basically what I really like about him. I guess I would have explained about the Young Six a bit more better if the producers would have worked on their personalities a little bit more, like they did with Sandbar, Smolder and Yona, because they have worked well with the first half of the Young Six, but it feels like it just dumps the other half of the group into the series with no personality traits whatsoever.
That's rather harsh, isn't it? At least they got more personality and charm than Four-Eyed Waste of Warm Colors ever could.
Yeah, I know. I'm not being mean about it, nor I'm saying that the character designs are bad by any means. I'm just saying that they could have worked well with them a little bit more. Maybe they might work with them when Season 9 comes.
Yeah, hopefully. That being said, I don't think there's a lot to say about the main six and Spike either. Wait, we could talk about Lord Tyrek.
The same Lord Tyrek that was a major villain in Twilight's Kingdom? The one who used Discord as bait to harness the pony's magic for himself, then leading to him and Twilight having one of the most epic scenes in the entire show, thus leading the main six to use the Tree of Harmony to trap him into Taurus forever and ever?
The same.
Awesome! So what role did he play in School Race?
Basically a pawn to you-know-who.
Oh, great. We're talking about him now? I know I already mentioned a bit about him, so I think I should start by saying a bit more about him. What do you guys think of him in that episode? Despite how he isn't really the mastermind by the whole magic drainage thingy, but he is still important to the plot. I know I said I liked the part about Pinky tormenting Tyrek into helping the main six and Spike escape, but listening to her voice while hovering over him was pretty much one of the most hilarious scenes, and that even I just couldn't help but smile at it. And I am being serious about it. It is literally one of the scenes in part 2 I find enjoyable. I honestly have no reaction to him in part 1, but I mean he does sound cynical when he torments the main six about the magic decreasing from Equestria, but I still would have said a little bit more about him.
Honestly, I have very little to say about Tyrek. I was surprised to see him return, and the fact that he was pen pals with Worst Pony, which I'm not sure how to feel about considering I ranked him as best villain in my MLP controversy meeting.
Alright, now normally at this point we discuss the songs and other tidbits, but there isn't a song for the finale, so we won't do that. Anything else we haven't talked about already?
I don't think so.
Me neither. Does that mean we could share our final thoughts now?
Sure, go for it.
For my final thoughts about the whole episode in general, I would seem to think that it is a very good way to end Season 8, because it just goes to show that with two groups of friends, the main six and the young six, can overcome anything even without magic, the power of friendship still holds a strong bond. But I am still a little ticked off with that one scene with the Cutie Mark Crusaders getting locked, Rainbow Dash bumping against the door, and with Cozy Globe being that cynical and evil, even for a young pony. And to be honest, I would seem to think that part 2 is a bit more enjoyable than part 1, because it was the most climatic part for my opinion, and I am looking forward to see what the Young Six can do in Season 9. We might have a season with them having their own episode roles, like the main six did before them.
School Raze was an alright two-parter. It's not as great a finale as the likes of Twilight's Kingdom or Shadowplay, and it features that filly whom I absolutely despise. But other than that, it was fine.
School Race is rather difficult to summarize. All the essential elements are there, the story is awkward in places, but it's still decent. The characters are great for the most part, and the theme was fine, and yet the end result leaves so little impact on me, probably because of two overused cliches that have long since outstayed their welcome. Most episodes that I've ranked bad or terrible each have their own identity and feel. School Race is a poor episode in an indescribable way. To properly explain how bad I consider the episode, I've come up with the scale of memories best left forgotten. First up is the material that's debatably bad, somewhat good productions with serious problems that affect the viewing experience. Not part of the garbage crust, but they are a bit smelly. Next up is the high level of crap contamination. Yes, they're possible to watch, you have to be crazy to even think about it. Then there's very high, where you may come out alive, but not without wanting to drown your brain in bleach. Then there's the severe zone, which encompasses the majority of the Equestria Girls productions post 2016. Stay away, don't even think about it, because they could kill you. Next episode or Surprise Day. Enough said. Finally, we've entered Major Code Red. This is the deep end of the scale. These productions are so bad they should never have been made to begin with, much less given the title of episodes or movies. Beware this lot. Never watch them, never talk about them. So where would I rank School Race? I'd say it falls under Greed. In other words, there are far worse episodes of movies in existence, not an awful finale in general, just has things about it that suck. If you're mildly curious or looking for something to fill up 44 minutes of your life, you'll get it here, but if you want something that feels like a genuine finale, Twilight's Kingdom and Shadowplay will fill you in.
Hey guys, how'd it go?
Great! I really enjoyed myself. For a first time, I actually nailed it big time, didn't I?
That's good to hear. And you're just in time, because we were about to go play baseball.
Wait, baseball? I never said. Matt, how dare you? Good thing my first aid kit's always nearby.
Why'd you hit Zack with a bat, Matt?
Because he hurt me. And, just for the record, Thomas Goes to Bollywood is not a terrible In the Major Code Red episode. If you ask me, both Fame and Misfortune and Forever and f***ing Ever should be in that zone. Because they're so...
Matt, that's enough. We're getting to Thomas and Friends Season 22 in due time. You can share your views then.
Yeah, you're right. I'm shutting up now.
Are they always like that?
This is normal, Cam. You better get used to it.
That should do it. You'll heal up before the next review, Zack. Okay?
Ugh, thanks, sis.
So anyway, that was School Raze. Not a great episode, but it wasn't bad either. But next time, we're tackling the big one.
I'm Zack Wanzer.
I'm Mike Nicholson.
And I'm Cameron Stevens.
And this has been the Emotions Corner.